Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From mock drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, Siggy Guns never fail. What's up, fantasy football fans? My name is JT Magnum. Welcome to our week 10 of our Start 'em and Sit 'em show. And crazy week. But first, let's get into Draftkings, the bragging rights contest, the first one, which was the early game contest. And the shout out goes to Get Money 1976. Not sure if you're watching, but if you are, shout out to you for winning the first early game bragging rights contest for our Draftkings. Had a score of 145.38. I came out, but guys, by the way, I was horrible this week in Draftkings. Absolutely horrible. I won a tiny little bit of money, not anything really major, and I was bad. But yeah, it was 25th, I believe, in this one. And as you can see, I had a big fat 0 for Allen Hurns. I don't know what it was. I couldn't pick. But anyways, I had some decent picks in there, but at the same time, it was a crap show for me. But shout out to Get Money 1976 for the first contest, and we move on to the contest number 2, which was the afternoon only games, and that was won by Jared Bryce 258 with 206.78 points. I did slightly better in this one as I came out 9th, but and you can see my scores on there, and you can see all the top boys on there. Notables, Vault Boy was in there, Mr. Popeye was in there, winners from the other few games that we've done in the past, and Mayan, of course, who's a regular, obviously, on here. And then we go to the third one, the last bragging rights, and that was won by Sparky _1904. Congratulations, with 175.28 points. I believe there was only 3 bragging rights that I did. Then I did another one that was $1. But I always shout out the bragging rights winners because those are the $0 ones, and those, I mean, it means more to, I mean, you won the money, you know who you are if you won money, but it's better to get the bragging rights on here, and we like these contests, and it's more fun for the people that don't have the money to play or whatever. They can just come on here and battle us out every week, and this one I came out 21st, so you can see my score on there as you see it. But and then we have the ultimate show of just kindness, of sharing, a friendship from none other than Vault Boy, who decided not only to share his fantasy wisdom, but also to share his girlfriend. And he made the winner gets my girlfriend for a day contest, and the winner for that was Coolio. So congratulations, you won Vault Boy's girlfriend. You have to contact Vault Boy to get that info, to find out where and how you can hook up with his girl, apparently. But thank you. A big shout out to Vault Boy for creating that and sharing his girlfriend for a day. We appreciate it. I'm sure everybody at Fantasy Football Fiends appreciates your generosity, Vault Boy. But yeah, I came out 20th in this one, and I am married, so it's a little difficult for me to get your girl for a day. I would have had to turn that down, but I was trying. I was trying, man. I gotta admit, I was trying. All right, guys, moving on. I didn't do the waiver wire video yesterday, so I'm gonna give you some waiver wire pickups for today. I'm not gonna talk in depth about them, but I'll tell you who they are. The first one's Capri Bibbs of the Broncos. Had a pretty decent game. Booker sucked in this past Monday night game. Sunday night game against the Raiders. Booker sucked. Bibbs got a touchdown. Had a nice running catch off a screen pass. He seemed like the better running back that day. I'm not sure how they're going to proceed with this, but it seems like they want to get Bibbs more involved. So pick him up, because if Booker's days are numbered. Booker fumbled a couple times too, so I'm not sure. Not in that game, but in the past. So I want to see what happens with that. Number 2, CJ Prosise from the Seahawks had a lot of touches. I don't know if Christian Michael was in the hot seat or what's going on with him. He wasn't rushing the ball. He did get a touchdown against the Bills, but at the same time, after the touchdown, I don't think I even saw him ever again. It was just Prosise all day and all night. The Seattle Seahawks have abandoned their run game and just straight up becoming like a passing team. I'm not sure if it was just the matter of them playing the Bills or what was going on, but CJ Prosise might be worth a look, especially if you're a PPR guy and you're looking for a nice running back that's going to catch the ball in the backfield. Prosise is your guy, being he was a wide receiver as well in college, I believe, and can play running back as well. So there you go. Number 3, Bryce Treggs. It's more of a deep sleeper for the waiver wire. From the Eagles, they released Josh Huff, and Bryce Treggs was moved up and given a shot. He had 2 catches for 69 yards in that loss to the Giants. Played very well, period, for the Eagles. I might get some more opportunities, and he's worth a stash maybe if you could pick him up. Number 4, Quentin Patton, finally showing signs. And on top of that, Torrey Smith is hurt for the 49ers. Not sure if he's going to be able to play this week. So Quentin Patton might be worth a look, especially if you're wide receiver strapped or got some injuries or have some problems. Quentin Patton starting to come along a little bit. Got a nice 100-yard game. They're starting to use him a lot more. And Colin Kaepernick seems a lot more comfortable with him. So it was weird because Blaine Gabbert was comfortable with Curley, and now you see Kaepernick more comfortable with Patton. So they're starting to use him a lot more. Number 5 is another 49er, which, I'm not sure if it was just the fact that they were playing the Saints or what's going on, but Djuan Harris, he's another one. Carlos Hyde again today was, from what I see today, practicing again in a non-contact practice jersey. So I'm not sure if Carlos Hyde is going to be able to play this week against the Cardinals, but Djuan Harris might be an excellent pickup given the fact that he does catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's another little Darren Sproles type. I'm not comparing him to Darren Sproles. I'm not saying he's Darren Sproles, but he's that type of back where he catches a lot of balls out of the backfield. Number 6, Peyton Barber from the Bucs. Every Bucs running back just seems to go down this week, or not this week, but in general this year, seem to go down. And right now, Peyton Barber's up, and if there's a backup for him, I'd pick him up. I believe it's Mike James, but I'm just saying right now, the Bucs running backs are going down, and Peyton Barber might be worth a look. And number 7, I mentioned him before, James Starks. He's coming off that not injured reserve, but he's coming off the injury list. He's listed as questionable this week. Not sure if he's going to play, but he's definitely going to probably play the next week. And right now, James Starks is the only running back on the roster. That's it. Him and Don Jackson are the only running backs on the roster, and James Starks is the most trusted one, obviously. So he might be worth a start because they need to get back to that running game because right now they have no running game in Green Bay. So let's get into the Stardom Situm show, and let's do the starts for the week. And the quarterbacks of the week for starts are Trevor Siemian, Carson Wentz, and Carson Palmer. And I'll talk about Trevor Siemian. Had a okay game against the Raiders. Most of it was garbage points towards the end as the Raiders had that game put away. But he's going against a Saints team that gave up 400 yards, almost 400 yards, 398 to be exact, yards passing to Colin Kaepernick, who's been atrocious at quarterback in the last couple of years as a 49ers quarterback. And if you're giving up 400 yards to Colin Kaepernick, Trevor Siemian with those weapons and Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders should do some work against New Orleans, especially in New Orleans. And running backs now for starts. We have Terrence West, Mark Ingram, and Chris Ivory. And I'll talk about Mark Ingram going against the Denver Broncos, whose defense is starting to look a little suspect now. You're starting to notice that a lot of teams are being able to run right at them. They're missing a lot of key guys from last year's defense in the front. And Mark Ingram had a little bit of a resurgence given the fact that he played the 49ers, and the 49ers run defense is absolutely horrible. But at the same time, he was benched the week before, and it just seemed like he was more pumped for this game, seemed like he was ready, and I think he's going to get even more pumped up for this game against the Denver Broncos, especially given the fact that they're at home playing. I think they're going to run again all over the Broncos. The wide receivers, I have Jordan Matthews, I have Larry Fitzgerald and Alshon Jeffrey, and I'll talk about Jeffrey. Jeffrey's finally going to get a chance to catch some balls and actually get some yardage and maybe score another touchdown. He's finally got Jay Cutler back, and he's finally playing a defense where he can actually do some work. Mike Evans ate up Tampa Bay all day, and you're gonna see the same happening with Cutler and Jeffrey. They're gonna go to him and go to him often, and he's probably gonna have a pretty good game, over 100 yards, probably about maybe 9 catches. It might get you 2 touchdowns in this game. Tight ends, I have Dennis Pitta, Zach Ertz and Kyle Rudolph. And I'll talk about Zach Ertz. Atlanta's given up 289 yards passing per game. They're giving up a lot of yards, period. Given the fact that Philadelphia's playing at home, it should be a little bit of an advantage for them. Even though Atlanta's offense is crazy, it's going to be a shootout. You know it, because Atlanta's defense sucks. Philly's defense is not going to be able to stop Atlanta's offense, given the fact that no one's been able to stop Atlanta's offense. So I see this game being a high-scoring affair, and I see Zach Ertz actually benefiting a lot, especially in red zone opportunities for Carson Wentz and company. Defenses. I just did the tight ends. What's wrong with me? Defenses. I have the Jets, New England, and Carolina, and I'll talk about the Jets. The Jets need a break. They've been playing some high profile like offenses. They've been beaten up, giving up all kinds of pass yards and things, and now they get a break playing Case Keenum and the Rams. Case Keenum is not really your Drew Brees type shoot 'em up, run and shoot offense. Todd Gurley's been struggling all year. The Jets do well against the run, minus last week with Jay Ajayi, but Jay Ajayi's been just on a tear with the Dolphins. But the Jets will face Gurley, who has out these top 85 yards this year in any kind of game rushing. So look for the Jets to put the heat on Gurley, make Case Keenum beat him, which Case Keenum's not going to do it, and just basically wrap that LA team up, especially given the fact that they're home. Moving to the sit-em portion of the show, and we got your 3 quarterback sits are Blake Bortles, Colin Kaepernick, and Russell Wilson, and I'll talk about Kaepernick. This is everybody's little baby now. Everybody had them going against Saints, and I saw it, and he got a lot of those points, and yeah, it was great for fantasy, but he's not a really good quarterback, and he's not going to get you a lot of points against the Arizona Cardinals, who them also have been struggling, sitting there at 3-4. But last year, if you remember, he threw a couple interceptions for touchdowns in a route to Arizona. I'm sure he wants to beat them badly. I'm sure he wants to do well against them, but I don't think those struggles are gonna be able to overcome them. And I think Arizona's gonna be ready. They're gonna be at home. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna be attacking. Is what they always do: attack Colin Kaepernick, make him beat him, and he's not gonna be able to. I think he's gonna struggle. He's gonna throw a lot of picks again in this game. He might even get benched in this game. Running backs, I have Isaiah Correll, Spencer Ware, and Todd Gurley. And I'll talk about Todd Gurley going against that Jets defense, what I just talked about. They're really tough against the run. Last week, they benched a couple of their players on the front line, Wilkerson and Sheldon Richardson, I believe, for missing practice or other kind of things. So they benched them for a quarter. Jay Ajayi ran a little bit on them, but still, I don't think Todd Gurley is going to be able to run on them. I think they're going to key on him, make Case Keenum beat him, which like I said before, Case Keenum is not going to beat you. It's going to be a lucky day if he does beat the Jets. I just see them stacking the line of scrimmage, not letting Todd Gurley beat him, and Todd Gurley's going to have a rough day. He just had a rough day all year long because teams are just stacking up the box on him. Wide receivers, I have Allen Robinson, Kelvin Benjamin, and Stephon Diggs. And I'll talk about Stephon Diggs going against Josh Norman. I'm not sure if Norman's going to cover him all game because Norman's been the type that he'll take you out he seems like if you're a hot wide receiver, he'll take you out. But I think Diggs, being that he's pretty much the best wide receiver right now on that Minnesota Vikings squad, and they like to go to him often, I think Josh Norman's going to want that challenge and stick on him all day. And I think he's going to do a pretty good job on him. Look for Diggs. If he might get about 5 catches or so, but it's going to be 5 catches for 40-something yards or so, and probably not a touchdown. So Josh Norman's pretty good at shutting you down. He's been a good corner all year long for the Redskins, and I see that happening definitely, especially in Washington. Tight ends, I have Jimmy Graham, Cameron Brate, and Jordan Reed. And I'll talk about Jimmy Graham. New England always takes away your best player. Right now, Jimmy Graham is the hottest player on the Seahawks. Russell Wilson seems to have a great rapport with him all of a sudden. Just whether it's throwing bombs, whether it's just being able to get him touchdowns in the red zone, whether it's just making a third down completion, he seems to be going to Jimmy Graham a lot. And Bill Belichick game plans against the team's best player. And right now, Jimmy Graham is that team's best player. And look for him to try to bottle up Russell Wilson, attack Russell Wilson, and also key on Jimmy Graham. Defenses, I have Denver, Philadelphia, and Dallas, and these are pretty much obvious reasons. Denver's playing New Orleans, Philadelphia's playing Atlanta, Dallas is playing at Pittsburgh. But we'll talk about Denver. they're struggling. They're struggling right now. You saw the Raiders beat them up. The Raiders ran all over them. The Raiders were pretty much be able to do a lot of what they wanted to. Plus, Denver's banged up in that secondary. And when you're banged up in the secondary and you're facing Drew Brees in New Orleans, that doesn't bode well for your team. I think Denver's going to be involved in some kind of shootout this week. I don't know. They might still pull out the victory, but maybe if they get lucky and get a stop, who knows where or what's going to happen with them. But right now, I think Drew Brees is going to throw for another 300-400 yards. Even though that Denver secondary is good, they're not going to be able to stop Drew Brees. And that wide receiver core for him is just unbelievable. So I don't like Denver this week. If you have them, bench them. All right, that does it for the Stardom Sit-em Show. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. Stats Guy and Vault Boy, once again, you guys do an excellent job of getting to the comments. I was slammed busy this week, and that's why I haven't done the waivers. I was slammed busy last week as well. I've been working on all kinds of projects. I have a video game, another video game channel that I'm actually going to be launching soon. So I've been working on that with some people and trying to get that organized and set up and all the, channel partnered and things like that. So I have a lot going on with that, and I've been able to still, make videos and stuff like that. But guys, I appreciate you guys helping me out so much. We'll be in contact. I want to make sure I get a hold of you guys so that maybe you can possibly join this show. I want to bring good people, good stats guys like you aboard. And like I said, we'll talk in the future and we'll see what happens with that. But guys, if you see them answering your questions, they've done a great job of answering. Not everybody is 100% correct, but these guys are pretty much on point. Even me, I think they've even picked better than me, and I'm man enough to admit it, man. These guys are good. So pay attention, ask each other questions. Be good to each other in the comment section, and best of luck in your Draftkings bragging rights this week. Don't forget to go to the link. It's in the description. Best of luck in your fantasy team this week. My teams, I have two. I have, three technically, but one of them doesn't count because it's the Friends League, and it's like, it's not really, there's nothing involved. But for the leagues that are involved, I'm 7-2 in both of them. I actually won a game by 0.02 points. Believe it or not. And I actually lost a game by 1 point in a league that it was kind of, not going to talk about it. But anyways, 7-2 in both leagues, and best of luck to you guys in your week 10. And yeah, that's it. So for JT Magnum and Fantasy Football Fiends, I'm out. Peace, y'all.